Hello, hello, hello. How are you this evening? Hey, I thought I'd quick pop on here and talk about the color personality test or quiz. I put it up in the top. Welcome, welcome. My name is Sue. I hope you're doing fine this evening. Let us know where you're coming in from and how are you doing? How is your week progressing? So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this test because it has helped me tremendously dealing with people around me. Sometimes it's a little bit harder when you don't know color personalities to try figure out how to work with somebody, and found learning the color personalities is amazing. And number one, if I'm going to just be right up front here on two of these color personalities that are very strong, knowing the color personalities helps you deal with these kind of color personalities. So there is 4 color personalities. We have red, blue, yellow, and green. And if you go to the Jacob Adamo link above, it's a free test. You can just quick answer in less than 2-3 minutes. Hey, Carol, welcome, welcome. You can quick answer those, quick one button answer in there to see what color you are. And it's so fun to learn your color personality because it also helps you learn the color personalities of those around you, those that live with you, those that work with you, etc. And it's way easier to work with them when you know colors. So for example, I'm just going to tell you, I just ran the test because I haven't done it for a while, and I thought, I got to do this and see what my numbers pop out at. So I did, okay, let's see here. Okay, it's kind of, okay, so my first color came in at 44.4%, and it was blue. So I'll get into the colors in a little bit. 44.4% blue. Next, I came in at red at 37%. You guys, so typically this is like very normal for me for these colors. I rarely flip on them, but a couple of times when I've hung around other reds, my colors have flipped to red. So typically I'm blue-red. And then third is always my yellow. My yellow pops in really low. Oh, it's not going to show me here. Hold on a second. My yellow was 11.1% and my green was 7.4%. So total's 100%. Regardless, doesn't matter. You guys want to know what these colors mean, right? So red, let me just go through this, and I want to just kind of hit on the highlights of each of these color personalities. Hey, welcome, David. So when you're talking about red, okay, so red was my second one. And when you're talking about red personalities, they're strong leaders, fast-paced thinkers, they're risk takers, they're purposefully driven, strong-willed sometimes, less patient, and obviously a boatload of energy, formal, overtly competitive, and rational. You may recognize some of these qualities of the reds in many leaders as they take ownership. They need to be fast-paced in their thinking, and they take risk, and they're purposeful and confident with it. So, but the things that reds don't like, you're blue, I'm a blue too. Majority always blue, and then my red comes in very close behind. Reds don't like when people waffle, so don't waffle. They're less patient, and whatever you do, don't be vague or ramble on. So sometimes when you think about the combination between a blue and a red, not good for the person that has it. They value time, so again, don't waste their time. Don't get too personal, as reds just like to stick to business. Don't stray from the purpose. Their personality types are focused in their thinking, and they don't ask irrelevant questions. Okay, reds, right? Okay. Don't ask anything like that. They get impatient and it does not fit with their rational thinking patterns. Lastly, don't try to take control because reds are natural leaders and like to feel they're in control. Hey, welcome, Tina. This is so great. This is so great for business. It's so great for even working with your kids' personalities. It's great for working with your spouse. Great for anything, like even out in a restaurant, you'll start seeing colors pop in people and you're like, okay, this person is this is how I'm going to word it. So how to interact with them? Again, you do for a red, very strong personality, you get to business quickly, and when interacting with the red, be precise, give them facts, and avoid details. I've dealt with a couple of reds. All they want is like boom, 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 and they're done. And avoid detail. Greens can be like that too, but it's typically greens that are driven with red. They don't want all the foo-foo, as I call it, all the foo-foo, or the fluff. And they are just wanting results and the outcomes. They need to hear this because they want to make a quick decision. Isn't that cool? So they want to make a quick decision, those reds, so don't give them any fluff. Use their time efficiently. They're fast-paced thinkers and tend to move quickly in their thoughts. And great people like reds are good for bouncing ideas off. And they're confident. And be confident when you talk to a red. Be confident. So that's a red. So red, we know, summarizing them up, they're leaders. They're in front of the pack. They're quick. They want to know, like, just few words, what is going on, and then they can make a decision. So that's red. Oh, that's okay, David. You can come back and watch too, because it's really good. Okay, so now the blue, and that's where my personality shines on the blue side. Blues are the life and soul of the party. They're sociable, expressive, very imaginative, and enthusiastic with life. But yellows are very informal. So if you don't like being informal, blues love it. Blues love it. They're very optimistic and animated. Can you tell? I'm always using my hands. If you watch my videos, my hands are always moving. Their imaginations can sometimes run away with us. With them, they're very fast-paced thinkers, just like the blue or the reds. And then blues are very relationship-focused and are visionaries with obvious high energy. Things that blues don't like. So now, again, blues are the life of the party. If they're strong blue, they want to be front and center. I'm not your strong blue, but I am very dominant blue, which I love to have fun. So blues don't like it when you suppress their opinion or get into intricate details. I do like details though. Not very, very, very intricate, but I like details. They are social animals and don't like it when you're too impersonal, business-like, or task-oriented. You need to weave this into the conversation. Don't try and inhibit their creativity or appear aloof or detached, because blues don't like it. They want you involved. So now how do you interact with a blue? So the key to interacting with the blue is to socialize before mentioning any business. So if you're going to do work with a blue person, or it doesn't matter if you're trying to get them to work, like a child that has a blue fun personality, right? What you're going to do is have a little fun before you get them to do the work. Do the work. I can't even talk. So anyway, so get into their good books. Talk about options and other people. Be enthusiastic and energetic when conveying your ideas over to them, and be fast-paced in delivering your ideas. Offer your ideas, and importantly, use humor when doing so, being sociable, and acknowledge their input. So that's the blue. Those are the fun-loving humans out there that like to have fun. Okay, so now we're going to get on to the greens. You guys, can you guess what greens are? Greens are deep thinkers. They're very analytical in nature. They're very detail-focused and formal in their thinking. I'm married to a green. He's an engineer and he's formal, very formal in his thinking. They can come across as being aloof, but they're deliberate in their approach and systematic, precise, and pays attention to detail. They like things in their place and are very organized with good time management skills. They're sticklers for time and are capable of coming to their own conclusions without having examples of others pushed at them. So this is so funny, you guys, for those listening to the green and the blue. The blues like the details, not always, but some, and to understand things, and then you give them their fast pace and they want their answer. Now you've got a green, and they don't want to be told stories or details, right? As much. They just want the basics and let them decide what they want, and then they'll ask for more. So let's see what else. They take their time in their thinking and are much slower paced than the reds or blues. Greens can come across as perfectionists due to their logical, systematic, precise, and deliberate approach to problems or solutions. Greens like to have facts and then logically put together their own answer that is suitable for them. Isn't that interesting? So those are greens. So that's what the green personality trait is like. And then you get what things don't greens like. So don't come across as disorganized with a green because they're very tidy. So it can be in their thinking process, it can be in their office, it can be wherever. That's how they are. They're not always 100% that way, but that's where they tend to be, is very tidy. Try not to be late, as they're sticklers for timekeeping. Try not to be flippant or pushy with them. They don't like vagueness. So make sure you have lots of details, even though you don't say it. Have lots of details and be prepared to have lots of questions thrown at you. Hey, Sue. Hey, Caroline. How are you guys? You are blue. I'm blue too. I get into trouble with my blue. Okay, and so blues. Okay, so don't use testimonials. Again, like I said, they're not big into storytelling, but they do like some. Or exaggerate your claim, as they do not fall for this. They are more facts and figure-oriented. Facts and figure-oriented. And don't be emotional, as they can't handle emotions. Not always true, but as a whole. So how do you interact with the green that likes facts and figures and you're not a facts and figure person like me? I do like some facts and figures because I like to research certain things. And that's when I come out, like my green comes out when I like to research certain things. So greens, be well prepared when dealing with the green personality. Get into detail, as they love to get all the facts in their mind. Be factual, specific, and logical with your approach. Listening is important to a green, so listen carefully to what they have to say as they verbalize their thoughts thoroughly and then question thoroughly. Give them time to respond, as they're slower paced thinkers. Be formal in your approach, as they're very businesslike. So even if they're not even in visiting, be more formal in your thought process. So have your points and your bullet points ready to go, and then all the filler if they want more filler. Okay, so let's see here now. So that's how you interact with the green. So now we're on to yellows, and majority of people are yellows, you guys. Majority of people out there are yellows. Yellows are cool, laid back, relaxed, and patient. Best describes this personality color, or this trait of these colors of the yellows. They are easy to get along with and very informal in their approach. They're social and focus on relationships, so they can come across as emotional. They're much slower paced in their thinking, similar to the greens, and are very democratic people. They are very understanding and agreeable. They say yes, but they may mean no, right? Have you come across any of those? The yellow is the go-between for the reds and the blues, who are much faster paced. They act as the facilitators to conflict. So yellows like things smooth. They don't like that rough water. Things get a little rough, they try to balance it out between family members, business members, whatever. They're trying to keep things even keel and happy, right? So that's the yellows. And what things do not, well, I just kind of answered that. What things do not greens or yellows, what is it that yellows don't like? They don't like to be pushed or put on the spot. Yellows absolutely hate this. Don't try to dominate the discussion or rush things, as they do not like when you decide for them. So try avoiding it. Don't be abrupt, explain in full, and do not make wild claims or demands. They can also tell if you're insincere, so be sincere. How do you interact with the yellow personality? Be friendly and show genuine interest in them. Chat before going into business. Very, very, very important with yellows. Strong yellows do not like to talk straight up business. They like to talk a little bit of personal. So I'll teach you a little quick trick here, and it works for every color personality. It's called the sandwich. Sandwich is, you have your first line that's more personable to them. Then you have whatever you need to talk to them about, and then you round it up with something personal again. So I'll get back into that in a minute, but let's focus here. As a blue, we like to get distracted. So it's important to develop trust first. Be informal and non-threatening. However, be alert for nonverbal signs of concern. Remember, they say yes, but they mean no, or vice versa. They may say, oh, no big deal, and they mean yes, it is a big deal. So that's your yellows. Okay, where am I now? But watch the body language if you are in front of them, or visual. If you notice any nonverbal signs of concern, uncover their needs with open questions. So that's a yellow. Those are the ones that like things smooth going, and They will not like to give you an exact answer. They may waffle here and there because they don't want to offend you. So those are yellows. Allow them to weigh things up for themselves. Finally, so if you think about these colors, they're all important colors. They're all, each one of us has our more dominant color, and it can even change with times. Whether you're around somebody with more of a dominant color, you may start picking up those dominant traits or, actions. And if you start hanging around more the yellows and the greens, you can easily find that you're being pulled down, not in a bad way, but pulled to be more a relaxed, even going course, if you want to say. So yellows, again, let's just quick do a synopsis, follow up on all these colors. So yellows are more calm. They like to just, make sure nothing is going awry. They like to keep the waters not so muddy, not so murky, and not so like flamboyant, right? Like the blues or waves, full of waves. So what gets them upset is when we push yellows. Yellows like to just take things slow at their pace and however they wish. And remember the sandwich I talked about earlier? So let's round up with the sandwich. So let's say you want one of your kids to do a job and they're yellow. They just don't want to hurt your feelings, and they're watching everything you do, and they'll say, yes, mom, I'll do that job. Yes, mom, I'll do that job. But they keep not doing it, right? So how do you get them off the dime to do it, right? So on a yellow, you would say, hey, whatever you've noticed that they've done good, whatever it is. Like, let's say yesterday they washed the table really good. You say, hey, Jen, I noticed you washed the table yesterday and you did such a good job. I noticed there was no crumbs left. So can you please go wash the table again tonight after dinner? That would be so great, because I would love it looking just like you did yesterday when you washed the table and there was no crumbs left. So that's the sandwich. You said something good, end with something good, and you asked for something to be done in the middle. And sometimes we can forget to do those kind of things. Not that you have to always do it, but if you're dealing with somebody that's not wanting to go in a direction, that needs to go in a direction, to get off the dime, sometimes that's what you need to do, is do the sandwich with that personality. Okay, so yellows were more laid back. They like to keep everybody else calm, pretty much, because majority of them are them. They're very laid back. Then you get blues. They're all about fun. They get themselves into trouble because they're having too much fun and not getting the work done, right? That's me. Sometimes I've had to learn the hard way that I love doing certain things, but it really doesn't get me where I need to, right? Like too much fun just is still no good, right? Not that we can't do it. And then blues don't like to be on time. That's another thing. Not always, but typically. So that's caused sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'm busy helping somebody, I'm forgetting. So I've really had to work and focus on my timing. So therefore I have the timer, or I have a clip timer on my thing and I set it for 5-10. Oops. Got a call that came in. Sorry about that. So then greens are very analytical. They're very driven by numbers, by graphs, by whatever, and they want things to go smoothly in that way, and they want their questions answered. So it's kind of interesting, and you don't give them fluff. Greens don't like fluff, so cut that part of the sandwich out, the extra crumbs or the extra, what do you want to say it? All the extras in that sandwich, get rid of it, right? That's how they are. So focusing greens will tend to be your engineers and accountants, and they don't like to be front and center like the blues. They like to rather watch from the back of the room and see what's going on and observe and come to their conclusions, just like I talked about in here. And reds, again, are very driven. They're the leaders in the pack. They're not necessarily full-blown hard-on red. Some are. There's quite a few reds out there that are like that you can see in society. But reds typically are the leaders, that they're like, hey, come on, let's go do this. And they're rounding up the group to do things. And they typically want they have things in their agenda, and they want their agenda fulfilled, right? So those are reds. And so Those are very interesting things. So I have just a little bit of a circle graph here that I wanted to touch on. So you typically get your extroverts as reds and blues, and you get your introverts as yellows and greens, but not always. They can overlap and interact. And so reds, remember, they're determined, demanding, competitive, strong-willed, and driven. So that's their typical, like, let's do it now. And then you get your blues, let's do it together. They're motivated, enthusiastic, sociable, dynamic, and inspired. Those are typically your blues. Then your yellows, let's do it harmoniously. Relaxed, caring, encouraged, patient, sharing. And your reds are very organized, greens are very logical, they're organized, analytical, they question things, and they're very cautious. So there you have it. That is the color personality. And so, like, what I found in my house, my husband is green red, I'm blue red. So we both are kind of driven in our things that we like to be, how do you want to say it? Happy and successful and whatever. That's our secondary part. But our first, he's more, laid out, organized, engineer mind, right? And I am more laid back, more spontaneous, more about fun. And that's okay, you guys. But I just wanted to talk about, like, for me, I've really had to work on my green. I really like getting organized. And so, as you can see, I have a quarterly workbook here that came for my business. It is geared towards my business. This is something I had to work on every single day. For blue, this is super hard. And I've done it for the last 2 months, 2.5 months now. And it's kept me on task, organized. I leave it open every morning. I get up and I look at what I wrote the night before, what I have to do for that day. And then I fill in the blanks wherever I have to get my things to fit. And I do my follow-up, I do my organization, and whatever I need to do. And it's in this book, and it keeps me on task. Where before, you guys, I'd have books. I was not organized. I was all over the board. I didn't know where I was headed. I'm in my business, even though, like, I could keep a lot up here, but eventually, more higher rank you go in a network marketing business, it's harder to retain all the information on every single person, right? So this has helped me retain a lot more information in my business. And so that's what I'm saying. This is what, talking about color personalities, there's areas of your colors you might have to work on a little bit stronger than others. So mine was my organization skills, because I was down to whatever percent it was. Wrote it in here. But any questions, you guys? I mean, that is like a quick run through synopsis on color personalities. And I enjoy it. It helps. It's probably because it's fun. For me, it's helped me understand somebody when I talk to them, because as soon as they start talking, within like 3-4 sentences, I typically can tell their color personality, and I can start working with them easier. It makes it easier to do what they want than what I think they want. Does that make sense? So yeah, I enjoy doing those color personality tests. And if you do yours and you want some help going through the colors to understand it a little bit better, feel free to private message me. I'd love to go through those color personality tests and help you out. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Can you believe this? I still have not eaten supper. I don't know what the time is. It's just been one of them days where I wrapped up, 30, 40, 50 presents today, or gifts for my team for the last 2 months, and all packaged, ready to go in the mail. Yeah, it's been a very successful, busy day getting all of those gifts out to the team, packaged up. So I hope you guys have an amazing, crazy, good, fun night, and we'll chat again later. Talk soon.